So more than 20 civil society organizations have petitioned Deputy Chief Justice Raymond Zondo to prioritize key witnesses in the remaining 5 months the state capture health inquiry has until it has to conclude its work. Now, some of the names specified by the organizations are former head of the NPA, Sean Abrahams, former Public Enterprises Minister Lynn Brown, businessman Fana Shongwane, and disgraced advocate Nomgcobo Chiba. They want these witnesses to give testimony before the commission concludes its work in about 5 months. The commission began working in August 2018, and so far, over 150 witnesses have already testified. For more on this, let's bring in researcher at Open Secrets, Zen Mathe. Zen, thanks very much for your time. Welcome to the AM report. I don't want to take it for granted that people might understand why it's important for these key witnesses to take the stand. In part, you say it's so that the public can continue to support the commission. Why is that important?
Hi, thank you for having me. Well, it's important. We, as a civil society working group on state capture, as you said, with over 20 civil society organizations, feel that it's important that the commission, in the time that it has left, prioritizes key witnesses of state capture because, you know, we have seen a number of witnesses come forward and a lot come to light at this commission. And the commission, we commend the commission on doing a great job so far. However, we have seen some witnesses come and take the commission for a little bit of a ride and wasting the commission's time and scooting around answering key questions. And we now commend the commission on some of the harder stance it has taken in the interest of time running out, to push witnesses, both compelling them, using its powers to compel witnesses to come forward, and using a firmer stance when questioning witnesses. But on top of that, we're saying, in the interest of this time left, there are some very key state capture players who we know as the public have been implicated in allegations of state capture, and some of these big names have not yet appeared in front of the commission. And, you know, the commission is a public fact-finding body, and we as the public and as civil society are pushing the commission to say, you know, time cannot run out with the commission submitting its final findings in almost 5 months without some of these big names that, you know, who we as the public know about not appearing in front of the commission, and the commission then coming to an end, without some of the big without having court to give testimony, the witnesses who have to come and testify there.
Yeah, and it's a list sort of about 100 names or so. I'm very interested to find out how you came about compiling this list.
Yes, so we, as the Civil Society Working Group on State Capture, were involved from, as you say, 2018, to say, how do we as civil society support the work of the Commission? And we have been making submissions to the Commission since about 2018, in organizations have been focusing on areas of work that they have been working on, and state capture and corruption allegations in those areas. And we have all made robust evidence-based submissions to the Commission. And on top of that, we followed that with public engagement with the People's Hearing on State Capture, and we put together an agenda for action, which was a joint submission that pooled all the recommendations from our findings together. And in one of our last advocacy steps in the last months of the Commission, we have pooled this list together from the submissions and the evidence-based work that we have all been doing and submitting to the Commission. And so that is how this list has been put together. It wasn't just who do we feel, as civil society. It was not a thumb-sucking process. It was extensive collaborative consultation and evidence-based work that we've submitted to the Commission.
Right. And, you know, the list is quite expansive. I mean, there's popular names, including Nosiviwe Mapisa-Nqakula, who we know is the defense minister. So people we don't know as well, like Gift Makashule, who, according to your list, had some relationship with the Guptas, as well as Sello Maema, who was implicated by some people at the commission as well as being part of some of the efforts that sort of, you know, clamped down on law enforcement agencies. The reality, though, is that 5 months is simply not enough time to get these 100 people through. The question then becomes, how should the Deputy Chief Justice begin to respond to your letter if he is to take it seriously?
No, I mean, this is a question we've grappled with as a working group in our civil society organizations. But we rested on the fact that it is not our job, I think, to decide for the Commission what it should and shouldn't do. I think that's for us, crossing the line. For us, the civil society, all we can do is present our list and leave it to the Commission and to the discretion of the Commission to how they take that forward. And of course, we toyed with the idea of submitting a list of 10 witnesses in the interest of time, but we really thought it's not up to us. These are the names we have. This is what our research and our submissions as organizations has put forward, and beyond that is up to the Commission. And the public's voice is the public's voice, and we have a duty to put those names forward, and how that Commission responds to that is at the discretion of the Commission.
All right, fair enough. Do you think the Commission has spent too much time with some witnesses, perhaps, and that has taken away from our opportunity to at least delve into a substantial number of these key witnesses, according to you and several other organizations?
Yeah, I mean, I think when we had first started putting the list together, there was really our concerns were starting to we were starting to raise concerns just amongst civil society and wanted to raise this with the Zondo Commission that it is spending a lot of time with certain witnesses. But as I've mentioned, we commend there seems to be an almost about turn by the judge in his stance and the Commissioner itself in pushing witnesses harder and also not allowing witnesses to waste time in some of their antics and time-wasting strategies. We commend the Commission. So yes, we think there was quite a bit of time wasting and by certain witnesses, but we commend the now stronger stance that the Commission is taking and in an effort to power through as many witnesses as possible in the last few.
Some of the other concerns that were raised then is that the Commission simply has too much on its plate. You know, the risk of having information that eventually overwhelms you to a point where nothing really substantial comes out of the inquiry itself. Would the time have left? How best do you think the Commission should proceed forward, considering that particular critique, the idea that perhaps the net has been cast way further than what was initially planned?
I mean, I think, like you've said, that, yeah, it's a huge mountain, the state capture and corruption mountain, and the Commission, it's understandable that the Commission has so much to cover, so much ground to cover, and with the unlikely reality of a time extension, we really feel we understand, especially in the light of COVID, that the Commission has been faced with the Herculean task. But we support the work of the Commission, and we commend it, and we support the stance that the Commission took post-COVID after resuming its hearings to really refocus on some of the terms of reference points that it has in the light of really trying to finish things in time. And so we hope that the refocusing of the Commission on its particular terms of reference narrow its focus and allow it to drill down and answer some of those key state capture questions before it comes to an end in the next couple of months.
Absolutely. As with most things, only time will tell. Thanks very much for coming through into the AM report, giving us your take on this important issue. Zen Mathe is a researcher at Open Secrets. The organization is part of several others that have put together a list of 100 so key witnesses, they say, that they believe should be given an opportunity to testify at the State Capture Commission of Inquiry before it wraps up its work in about 5 months' time. I wonder how you see things. Are there perhaps any key witnesses that you still think still need to answer to a few allegations? We'd love to hear from you at Newzroom 405.